This was supposed to be the Trades Licensing Board meeting for Tuesday, May 7th. There is no quorum, so no actions can be taken by this board. However, there are people here from the public for public comment, so I'm going to allow the public comment section, and then the meeting will resume the first Tuesday, June 4th, for the next Trades Licensing Board meeting. So I'll open up for public comment if someone would like to come up to the podium to speak under the public comment section. Please state your name and address.
My name is John Flusky from Flusky Plumbing, 7480, 6140 on Back Road, Gerard. First of all, I just want to say I'm not here to say anything bad about Zach or any closure of what happened, but it was brought to my attention about a month ago. My office received a call about a job that I had done, and the plumbing inspector called and wanted to know why I didn't file a permit for a remodel of a bathroom. This is how this all started. So the owner called me, and I talked to him, and come to find out that the plumbing inspector had showed up at his door, wanting to know what he was doing there and what I did there, and stopped his construction from happening, put a decease on it. So I called Zach, the plumbing inspector, and he proceeds to tell me that I needed to file a permit. And I said, a permit for what? And I said, all I did was put a tub and shower valve in and change the waste and overflow on the tub in an existing bathroom. He says, well, that requires a permit. And I says, well, how much is the permit? And he says, it'll be $50 for a fixture. He counts that as a fixture. $75 for the water lines, and $75 for the drain lines. And then you add $24.50 for the filing fee, and $4.50 to the state, you're up to what, $230 added to that customer's job when I put a tub and shower valve in and a faucet. I says, that's ridiculous. And he says, well, if you would have just called me, we could have worked it out, because we wouldn't have, possibly charged the whole $75 for the water line. And I says, well, I would never dream of calling you, because I've never called ever before to change a tub and shower valve, and I've been doing this for 30 plus years in the city of Erie. And he says, well, any licensed plumber would have filed a permit. And I just couldn't believe that. So I hung up with him. I said I'd filed a permit. I called 9 respectable plumbers that I knew, that I trusted, and not one of them have ever filed a permit to change a tub faucet in a house, to replace one. So that brings us here today, which I ended up paying $50 for the fixture fee, but I would not pay for the water lines and the $75 I thought was just astronomically ridiculous. So I'm just here, and we're all here, I think, to get clarity on what rules and are we following here.
Okay.
And we don't, I just don't know the answers to that.
Okay.
I think, go ahead.
2 things. Number 1, this board has no jurisdiction over codes. We have no jurisdiction over Uniform Construction Code. I believe that the people that have jurisdiction over the Uniform Construction Code is the Department of Labor and Industry. I believe that is correct. Am I wrong, Andy? Okay, so council has the power to amend the code, correct?
They would amend it, send it to L&I for approval, and if they approve it, yes.
Okay. So in other words, us as the licensing board only has jurisdiction authority over licensing itself. So as we do understand your complaint, we don't have jurisdiction over that. You have to make that complaint with council.
Well, in a broad way, it all falls back to licensing. As far as you have master, I'm assuming you got licensed plumbers on this board? You are?
I'm master.
Are we going by the rules of the way we used to? What are the rules? The rules used to be a master plumber, a journeyman, an apprentice. Correct?
Correct.
A master plumber holds his license, must be on his vehicle, must have a journeyman working under him in the city of Erie. The journeyman has to have can only have so many apprentices. Are we following that rule?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
As far as you're aware?
There might be people out there that are not doing that, but they're being dealt with as they're caught doing that. There are some master plumbers, maybe some master electricians who are filing permits for other people, and they're being caught doing that.
Well, I'm not looking to catch people. That's not what I'm here for. We want clarity. We want to follow the same rules so everybody's on the same page. I would have never thought of calling Zach to change a tub faucet. And nor I don't think any of them would have.
Right.
But nobody's on the same page. So, and the other plumbers I called said they won't even work in the city of Erie. This is the reason why. So it's kind of defeating the whole reason for having Zach as a plumbing inspector if we're not following the rules and following permits. Well, I know you're just a licensee.
You can request a copy of the Uniform Construction Code for the city, and the section that you're referring to would be section 1503.41, and it lays out exactly what requires a permit and what does not require a permit.
In what book is that?
It's the Uniform Construction Code for the city of Erie.
So are we going by the ICP code, our IPC code, or the old plumbing code of Erie?
You're using the International Plumbing Code.
Okay.
Underneath the Uniform Construction Code.
Of Erie?
Of Erie, correct.
Where is that book available at?
The code office has a copy of that.
Yeah, you can go on the website for UCC. The UCC is the administrative portion of the code. The only book, the only code that it does not cover is the property maintenance administration portion. So all your building code, your plumbing code, your mechanical code, energy code, the administration portion of those codes are the UCC. And you can print that out on the city website. It's about 30 pages approximately.
So are you saying that the person I'm supposed to be talking to is Andy? For all this?
Well, I don't know if he's the person that would give you a copy of that if you'd like it.
No, not a copy, but with changing the way things are. Or can you not change them?
Me, but ultimately you're going to end up with council, and then council has to agree to make a change. It's then got to go to L&I there in Harrisburg. They review it, then it would come back to us.
So where did we get this one from then? When did we go through that process of our old code that we used to follow in the city of Erie? Now we're on this code. When did we go to that?
We've had the UCC since 04, I think.
Correct.
The city of Erie, but since the city of Erie no longer does.
The state has a uniform.
Right, but we no longer you don't go by them. We don't use their inspectors. We don't use BIU and inspectors. So we have our own city inspectors now.
Right, we follow the Uniform Construction Code administrative language.
And there's a plumbing specific. Do you know that?
Yes.
Mr. Santana.
Clear some of this up. So the UCC is made by the state. It says how a business can handle itself if they're going to have their own inspectors or if they're going to opt out and hire somebody else. We have our own inspectors, so we do it in-house. Mill Creek opts out, uses BIU. So that language is in there. But then it also lists when permits are needed, when permits are not needed. And it also lists all the codes that every trade has to follow. And so like under the electrical, there's the International Electric Code and the National Electric Code. We follow the National Electric Code. So the UCC for a long time should have always said the plumbing code. The one that we used to have in Erie has been on for years, right? So for a very long time. We've been following the plumbing code. The problem is I think that a lot of you guys got used to work with BIU, which is not officers and can't enforce or write citations. And so it's kind of the Wild West for Erie for a long time. And now it's getting back to following the UCC and a local inspector. I think that's kind of where the gray area is, if that helps at all.
Well, I think a lot of the gray area went to when we went to that. It wasn't really laid out to any of the master plumbers.
It says pay $15 out of faucet.
Wouldn't the code office have it? But the code office has a schedule of costs for permits, correct?
Yeah, but it's very vague. Very vague. You got $75 water line. So you can replace a water line to the fridge, which is $75. You can replace the whole house for $75. I mean, if you follow what I'm saying. It's very vague. It's not broken down. It's not anything that we can really follow unless you were doing like a new construction type thing. Then it's pretty well broken down.
I think ultimately what it comes down to is you guys have to work with the code office and or
Yeah,
city council.
that's what I'm here for. That's why I'm here, because when I called earlier to talk, there was nobody to go to. And she said the only way I could really do it is go to you guys first. Andy would be here, and that we would get the discussion started. That's the only thing I'm trying to do is get on the same page.
Right.
I'm not trying to fight for anything or get anybody in trouble or, whatever. I just want to be on the same playing field.
I understand.
That's all.
We all want to be.
Yeah.
But I think that it's important to realize, too, that, like Mr. Santana said, since 2004, it's been the Wild West. All of us, like myself and you and a few people in the crowd, Ron, we all earned our master's licenses. We earned them. We pay for them. And then there was people coming here from out of town, everywhere else, and it was not being enforced. They were taking money out of your pockets and leaving town. Now we have law back in the land, which protects me, protects Mr. Ziwi, protects you, and I'm happy about that we have enforcement.
I'm fine with it. As long as the rules are for everybody, I'm fine with it. I just need clarity on what we're doing.
Right.
And if you say I can go to this spot and it lays out City of Erie plumbing, what I'm expected to do, then I guess then my answers are answered.
Right. And
Each municipality.
I'm not worried about them.
Oh, no, you should be. If you go to Mill Creek, they have their own UCC.
I know.
Which is governed by the state, so you need to know that one. You need to know
Well, that one's pretty
You
vague.
need to know Harvard Creek, so you need to know the different UCCs.
What are the odds of a plumbing? Do you have an electrical board, Mike?
No,
There's no boards anymore.
there's a trade board.
that's it. And I'd also like to say, if you know someone out there that's breaking the rules intentionally, they're using their licenses in ways they shouldn't be, please report them. Because we have the authority to discipline people who are abusing their license.
Yeah, I understand.
So, is there any other comment?
You guys need to add anything?
I guess my only question, are you still having a master plan with it?
We can't hear you at all. Could you come up?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
If you go on the city website, you can print out UCC.
How you doing?
Good. Can you state your name and address, please?
My name's Ron Respecki. I live at 8217 Westlake Road, Fairview, PA. I own Ronnie Rips Plumbing. My question is, like with the licensing and all that, what you guys are saying is, like, are you still allowed to have your master plumber live in Florida and you run the business in Erie? Is that still going on? Because I know that's kind of a situation, it was for quite some time. I know there's a certain plumber that runs around town selling his license like a cheap whore. I mean, it just
Right.
seems to be that way. I don't know. I've heard a lot about it all changing, but you never hear anything on the back end, shall we say. And as far as like all these codes and stuff, I think we just want clarity. Like if we need to pay $25 to replace a faucet or $100, none of us are arguing that. I'm all for it. Look how much I paid in permits last year. I'm filing them 6 ways a Sunday every time I have to. We just want clarity so we know, so we don't have problems, so we don't have to be down here. That's
No,
all.
I
We want to
understand.
do the right thing.
And
Just trying to help the people.
I understand, and I think that can be definitely dealt with between you and the code office.
Yeah, I mean, we used to have a nice city code book that we'd flip open and it had all that stuff in there. And,
Right.
every so many years we'd get a packet with some updates or
And it's
amendments. And now I hear all our code changes through the supply house counter.
Right. Well,
And-
it's probably best, the prices of permits have changed, so it's probably best to even get with them and make sure that you're on board with the
Right.
prices of what the
So-
permits cost.
That's all. I'm not here to complain. We're all trying to do the right thing, that's all.
Absolutely. Thank you. Is there any other public comment?
I'd just like to say something that we're here because we want the same thing you guys want. We want a fair playing field for everybody. You know, you guys are doing the right thing. Yeah, there's some confusion here, but once we get that worked out, we want you guys are the ones doing the right work in the city, you know. So we appreciate you guys being involved and coming up here and saying stuff. So we appreciate that.
Okay. Well, since this is not a public meeting, and our next public meeting will be June 4th, we'll see you on June 4th. Thank you.